Today, two British ladies are going to be splashing out beside a lake at one of the most colourful markets we've ever been to. But will they find the hidden treasures they've been looking for, or are they going to have to pedal their way home? Welcome to France, where today's show comes from the banks of the Dordogne River and the ancient market town of Libourne. In days gone by, merchants from all over France would have gathered here to trade in wine. But it's a market of a very different sort that brings us here today. It's a brocante market, where antiques are the commodity and profit is the name of the game. Our two contestants have just one day to scour the local antiques markets for some of those real bargains before taking them back to the UK to sell on, hopefully for a profit. But before we get to that stage, let's find out a little more about Libourne. Well, the old town of Libourne owes its existence and its name to the English King Edward I in the 13th century, when this part of France was under English rule. Construction of the town was given to Roger de Libourne, a nobleman from Maidstone in Kent, as a reward for helping Edward in battle. It had a busy port, exporting wine to England and Holland, and many wine warehouses which can still be seen today. Nowadays, the port has closed down, as the vineyards prefer to send wine by road, but the town still has a bustling market 3 days a week. And every year, a huge brocante market is held here, and dealers from all over the region to peddle their wares. I'm the only one seeking the profit, because our contestants all have to turn a fast. They have just one day to scour the local fairs, and they're going to have to haggle until they're hoarse if they stand a chance of becoming today's victors by making the most money when it comes to selling their items back home. I've got £350 worth of euros for each team, and they have to spend every penny. So it's time to meet today's contestants. Our two rivals today are two ladies from Kent, Sue and Yvonne. Team number one matches Sue with our regular expert, Mark Franks. Sue is 39 years old, married and lives in Bromley. She has been friends with Yvonne for many years. She loves boot and antiques fairs and is a collector of masks. She also says she's a sucker for a bargain.
My knowledge of antiques is quite limited, I've got to say. Yvonne's got the upper hand on me on that one. It's just bits and pieces I've picked up. My dad was very into it, but you don't tend to listen to your dad very much, do you?
Helping Sue today will be Mark Franks, a professional dealer who is known to be one of the sharpest cards in the pack when it comes to haggling. So, French stallholders, beware. Team 2 today pair Sue's best friend Yvonne with our other regular expert, Jonty Herndon. Yvonne is married with children and is a lover of gardening, Man United and, of course, going to antiques markets. And her collection of Art Deco has inspired her to make her own diachroic glass jewellery.
When I get to France, I'm hoping there's going to be unusual things that you don't normally see in Britain. Perhaps some really nice glassware, maybe even a bit of lalique would be spectacular.
Helping Yvonne is our very own Jonty Herndon, a man who's seen a good few bargains in his time working at some of Britain's top auction houses. So he knows exactly what sells. And now it's time to get the game underway. Morning, bargain spotters.
Morning, Chris.
And good morning, Yvonne.
Morning.
I have to say, Yvonne, that's rather nice round your neck. Are you looking for jewellery?
Well, I won't be finding any of these because I actually make them myself, but thank you. I'm after jewellery, Art Deco or 50s.
Art Deco and 50s, that's very nice. Jonty, that covers the whole of the 20th century almost, doesn't it?
Well, markets like this are full of that sort of thing, so I'm very happy.
Glad to hear it, Jonty. Sue, morning to you.
Morning.
Is this warm enough for you?
Oh, it's hot, isn't it?
Isn't it great?
Yeah, it's
And what are you looking for, Sue?
Well, I'm left with, after Yvonne's got everything else.
Yeah, you're left with the remnants.
This is it. Kitchenalia, I think. I collect masks myself, but I don't think anybody else they're not that interesting for other people, I don't think. Not that saleable, so
No.
kitchenalia, I reckon.
Kitchenalia. Mark, that should be quite easy here.
I love a bit of kitchenalia. No, I think it'll be fine today. It's a good little flea market, so I think we'll be laughing. I've got no worries at all.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. Just before you rush off, the rules of the game. In each of these bags is £350 in euros, and you have 1 day to spend it all, OK? But before you go rushing into buying anything, just think to yourselves, is it collectible or rejectable? Right, girls, you look ready to meet. The red one for you, Yvonne, and the black one for you, Sue. Experts, your books.
Thank you.
Right, put them on. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Right, belt up. It's time to buy. So, whilst the teams get busy, let me remind you how it all works. Using their £350, both teams have to buy at least 10 items to sell on back home.
S'il vous plaît.
The flea market in Libourne takes place once a year and attracts up to 200 vendors. Now, they're not all antique dealers. You'll find all the fun of a village fete here too. But that doesn't mean to say you'll not strike gold amongst the brocante dealers who are here. So let's see if either of our teams have dug up any gems so far.
Do you know what these little porcelain figures are for?
No, no idea.
They are hidden in a cake. And there's a little group down here. I've just noticed these as well. Do you see these little porcelain figures? They don't of no particular age, but these come out of a gâteau, which is celebrated in January for Epiphany.
Right.
And if you find one of these, you are the king or the queen. But it also means you have to buy another cake as well.
Oh, not so good.
So if you see lots of fat people in January in France, you know exactly what they've been doing, eating too much cake.
That's right.
But they are collectible here in France, but not in England at all.
Quite right, Jonty. In France, those little figures are called fèves, and they've been in existence since the 12th century. And while in France they can fetch hundreds of pounds, in Britain they're quite worthless. Now, Mark Franks has always got an eye for a good bargain, but I'm not quite sure if he's got an ear for good music.
You're blowing your own trumpet again.
Do you like that? Isn't that cool?
It's good, isn't it?
If you look on the top there, there's some writing. I can't read it, it's all in French. Aux concours Paris, Jérôme, tu bon l'ami, Paris. Sweet, it's not in bad condition. Few little dents there, not happy about that. Quite worn away there.
Yeah.
That's just a brass base underneath the chrome that's been come off there.
Right. Well
probably-
used.
It's well used, probably about 60 or 80 years old. It's quite nice. He wants €200 for it, it's 140 quid.
A lot of money, isn't it?
I think it's probably worth somewhere about 100, 120, perhaps 140 on a good
Yeah.
day, but we're here to make a profit.
That's it.
It's good fun though.
A bit rich.
Perhaps Jonty will find it. Come in, Jonty.
Might make a better sound.
Well, he couldn't make a worse one, and anyway, Jonty's busy doing bird.
Well, first of all, what I'm a little bit concerned about, it's brand spanking new.
Oh.
All right? And you
Okay.
can tell that by the outside is exactly the same colour as the inside. And when I say the inside, a bottom of a bird cage, if it's ever been used, would be actually quite dirty.
Right.
Okay, do you see
Didn't think
that?
of that.
Oh, these experts are so hard to please today.
That one.
Shall I tell you why not? The reason I'd say no to this, it's quite nice.
There's some cracks now.
It's the glaze has gone, and beneath the glaze you've got this staining. These brown marks is where staining has gone beneath the actual glaze itself.
This is brand new. Will you make a profit on it? Now, how much money is it?
They said 40.
40 euros. That's about £30.
It's got plenty of age to it. It's probably 100 years old,
Yeah. So it deserves to be stained.
but
100 years
well,
old.
it won't sell, and it's got a nasty crack running through there as well.
Yeah.
So I'd definitely give it a swerve.
Okay.
When you come to a fair like this, you think, oh, that's nice. How much is it? And you turn it over, ask the price, and it's even more than you think you can make a sale.
Yeah, that's right.
So
So it's
you
fine if you're buying it for yourself, it's fine.
Absolutely.
But to resell,
This
Yeah.
is a different game.
yeah,
You know, we're
Okay.
here to make a profit.
right.
All right.
So we say no.
Come on.
No.
Yes, that's all very well, guys, but someone's going to have to dip a hand into their £350 and start spending. Anyway, if you're thinking of coming down to Libourne, you should head for Bordeaux Airport and hire a car. My advice is to stick to the country roads and follow the Dordogne River route. You're going to pass through the heart of the wine district of the southwest. So, if as well as antiques you're also a lover of wine, there are plenty of wine tours in the Libourne area where you can taste some of the best wines in the world. Now, while the teams are busy deciding what to buy, I'm going to try and seek out what I think is the star buy at today's market. I can hear you thinking, what on earth is he clutching this for? Well, I'll tell you, it's a great, great find. First of all, it's a 1920s mirror. But look at all this stuff. Well, let's take that out because it doesn't belong. That glass is much older than the frame here. This is what we should be looking at. With a new piece of glass cut for this, it will just make it. It's dated 1920s, 1930s. And the reason we can tell that is by the backing. See here? It's plyboard. An older mirror would have been constructed properly. So it was never made to be a very, very expensive piece, just decorative. But if we look at this gilding here and the red showing through, that's a sign that it's very, very good quality gilding indeed. Because this red plaster was a primer for very good water gilding, which in effect is real solid gold leaf. With the cheaper gilding, you wouldn't see that red. It does need a bit of a touch-up. I'd put a bit of gold paint there, gold lacquer there, but nothing else except new glass. The great thing is this is only €10, £7. I really, really hope that one of our teams will spot this. And I also really hope that our two teams are going to start spending soon. We've been here for nearly an hour and those money belts have stayed firmly closed.
Oh, look, Solex. They are wonderful. You ever seen one of those before? Right, what you do, it's like basically a push bike. You jump on, you cycle away, and when it starts getting a bit of speed going, you let that handle down.
Drop it down.
You drop the engine onto the wheel, and away you go. You stop cycling, that takes you, put your feet up there, and that takes you off down the road.
Are they collectible?
Well, I've bought them before in France and sold them in the UK, and people do love them because they're novel and they're really sort of unique to France.
Bit different.
They've been making these since about 1880, somewhere around there. So they've been going for about over 100 years now. But this particular model looks to me about 1960s, 1970s.
OK.
Right, see anything on here you like?
Not sure about those.
Oh, Yvonne, look at this. Look at him.
It's very nice.
No, he's very stylised. Well, he is very deco. He looks like an Irish wolfhound. He's very elegant. And he's only got €20.
Even better.
That's about £15.
Now, elegance is something that should be maintained at all times.
Itch your skirt up, gal. Well, hey!
Oh, well.
That's the way
There
to
we
get a
go.
discount.
Yeah. Should have come with you earlier.
It's a gilt Spelter figure, and Spelter was like a sort of poor man's bronze, but he's still very elegant, and I reckon there's a real profit in this. To the right kind of buyer, he's worth sort of £60, something like that.
That'll do nicely.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy with that. He's on a marble plinth, but he has what I would call a classical feel to him, so he looks a lot older. So I would suggest, at first glance, he looks almost 200 years old, but he's not. He's about 1930 in date.
Sue's charms seem to have gained her a jolly good discount, and at last they make their first purchase. And I think Sue's found a new friend.
I think you've pulled, gal. I think
Yeah.
you've pulled.
I'm in there. Get the price down.
Do you want me to leave you two to it?
Yeah.
They've paid £40 for the Solex motorbike. It's an unusual choice and a bit grubby for my liking. But what about Yvonne's four-legged friend?
€15, €15. Excellent.
we'll do
Merci, monsieur.
So it was a long time coming, but at last Yvonne and Jonty have invested in their first purchase, a very nice Art Deco dog. Now, whilst the teams are busy, I've got time to discover more about the old French town of Libourne. Libourne has enormously strong historical ties with England. In the time of the 100 Years' War, this part of France was ruled by the English king, and the Bastides were treated as fortresses to defend against the French army. But as well as this, there were also fantastic examples of early and surprisingly efficient town planning. From up here, we can see exactly the layout of the town, with the streets leading off the marketplace. Now, that is something interesting in itself, because up until this point, the centre of the town was usually around the church, or the cathedral, or the castle. But the Bastides were all about trade. They brought trade into the centre of the town to the marketplaces. Now, of course, trade brought money, and the town councils of places like Libourne became very wealthy indeed. And in the 19th century, some of that wealth was invested in buying fine art. This is the banqueting room of the Libourne Town Hall. And the paintings in this room, there are 4 of them, are absolutely magnificent. They're all done by a local artist, René Prince-Tout. He was born in 1843, just round the corner here, to wealthy wine merchant parents. He was born a deaf mute, but he did show great ability in the arts, and at the age of 22, he was sent to Paris, where he enrolled in the Imperial College of Art. He's not that well known in Britain, but his great claim to fame was the fact that he was tutor to Henri Toulouse-Lautrec. Nevertheless, he was a very fine painter in his own right. His speciality was movement, and he's widely known for his equestrian paintings. These were painted towards the end of the 19th century. Now, here's a little tip when you're looking at equestrian paintings. Just look at the way that horse is running. Do you see there, all 4 hooves are off the ground? Well, it wasn't until the common use of the camera that we would see that it was impossible for a horse to run with all hooves off the ground. At least one had to remain, unless he was jumping, of course. It's unlikely that anything like these will turn up at the local flea markets, but if you're in Libourne shopping, for example, why don't you just pop into the town hall and have a look at these? They're well worth it. Well, back at the market, the 2 teams seem to have gotten over their earlier reticence and are now buying freely.
1950s.
Buy things like that.
Yeah, because it's kitsch, isn't it? It's 1950s, it's very kitsch. I should imagine there's that one. And there's that one. They're like a matching pair, the man and the lady. I think they're really, really charming. But, I mean, they are 50s kitsch. They are perfect for this retro market that's really happening. They've got the little grassy skirt. Yeah, they would sell pretty well. I would expect to get £20–25 each for them.
As much as that?
Yeah.
Don't be too amazed, Sue. Retro is big back in Britain, as is creative restoration.
I just want to show you these. You see these windows here? This nice domed top windows? These are Victorian. But what I've seen people do at home is to take the frame, completely strip it, and behind put a mirror plate. So the whole thing becomes one mirror plate, which you apply on the wall. It's quite a clever thing to do. So here we're looking at what we would call sort of architectural salvage. And I think it'd be quite difficult to sell something that's directly off our market stall, but it'd be still quite interesting to see what the price is.
Yeah.
Pardon, madame? C'est combien?
It might be tricky to sell, but if the price is right...
60 pour 2, Jeanne.
Chérie, 60 pour les deux.
At just £39 for 2, Jonty snaps up the window frame.
Excellent. Well, that's sort of... So when we come to sell that in the market, that's how you can sell something like that too. So you've got to inspire a buyer as to what they can do with it.
Strip it out,
Yeah.
mirrored back.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice mirror.
All right.
Très joli.
Great shape, yeah? OK.
I'll be interested to see if a buyer snaps them up quite so quickly back in the UK.
And I just want to say, you like that, didn't you?
Yeah.
You pointed that out to me. Now, I'll tell you, if you look at the bottom, can you see all these random scratches? In all different ways and shapes and angles. That shows it's got plenty of age and it's been moved around on sides.
Okay.
They're not all running in the same direction, so it's had plenty of use and plenty of wear. Again, that would be probably 1950, somewhere around there. So you have to, what I'm doing now, I'm running my finger around it like that, just to see if there's any chips. You'll feel them much easier than you will spot them.
Right.
Any little chips will just kill its value, and that's absolutely perfect.
It's perfect, isn't it?
And then once you've done that, it's signed as well. Dom. See that signature down there? Dom. Okay. That means from being 10–15 quid's worth, it's probably 30 or 40 quid's worth. Combien pour le toit, s'il vous plaît?
70.
7, 8, 56 quid the lot.
Well, that's worth it then, isn't it?
Good buy, Sue and Mark. The figures are great, but the Dawn Bowl is a fantastic find. Dorm are one of the premier glassmakers of France and hugely collectible. Now, not only do our contestants have to keep their eyes peeled for bargains, they also have to keep their experts in check.
Jotty,
I'm playing again.
behave yourself. Put that down.
Au revoir, monsieur. Au revoir.
Naughty Jonty. So Yvonne drags her expert back to work, but has she dragged him away from a bargain?
What about that? Is that cool? A little tiny snooker table or pool table, and somebody's made a base up for it.
That's really cute.
Qui a fait le table? Oui. Vous? Oh, he made the base up. It's very nice. Combien?
35.
35?
Yeah.
35?
Yeah.
I think that's cheap
I think
enough.
we'll have that.
25 quid. Yeah? Bon, merci beaucoup. Give him a kiss.
Well, if that pool table makes a lot of money back home, Yvonne might wish she'd let Jonty play on. Now, earlier in the day, I selected what I think is the star buy at today's market, a gilt mirror frame, and Jonty has just spotted it.
Well, what I love about this is the frame. And do you see this wear on here? See all this red coming through?
Yeah.
Now that tells me that it's an original gilding. And when I say original, we're looking at a mirror that's probably 1920s. It's the fantastic price of €10.
It's very
Now,
nice.
all we have to do is put a new mirror plate in that and it'll be fine.
Well done. Jonty's correctly spotted all the things that made me think that that mirror is today's best bargain. In fact, it's only halfway through the day and already both teams have made some pretty sensational buys. Sue and Mark have bought this Solex bike for the bargain price of £40. But this crab desk set, it's disgusting. What were they thinking of? Yvonne and Jonty's best buy so far, I think, is this Venetian mirror. It's very pretty and was a real bargain. But this biscuit barrel at £3, I think that's money straight down the drain. Remember, both teams have to sell on all their French finds back in the UK, where Sue and Yvonne will find that dressing up doesn't necessarily help the sales, and things get a little nasty.
I feel we've got a bit of an unfair disadvantage because you've got the front and we've got the rear.
I've sold two things, you've sold about 100.
We've got better stuff.
We're still
it's fair to
winning.
say.
Well,
And the ladies show that it's not just the experts who know their onions.
Free onions with every purchase.
But that's all still to come, because back in France, the market stallholders are having a long lunch. The teams are still thrashing out a few bargains, and me, well, I've decided to take a nautical excursion up the Dordogne. Antiques come in all shapes and sizes, and today I'm standing on one. What it is a wine boat, or a gabar, and this one was made in 1892. Once upon a time, the Dordogne River would have been full of boats like these, travelling to and from Bordeaux carrying wine. Strangely enough, it wasn't the advent of road transport that ended the boat trade. It was the invention of the mass-produced wine bottle, which lasts a lot longer than wine in barrels. The gabar were designed for carrying barrels, and almost overnight, they sadly became redundant. So dramatic was their demise that from the hundreds of boats that once existed, now there is only one left, this one, Les Deux Frères, which was discovered rotting away on the Mediterranean coast near Marseille. Since then, it has been lovingly restored. And although the transportation of wine by river has ceased to be, it is still wonderful to see something like this, still in existence. Back in the market, time is ticking on, and Sue and Yvonne are in fighting spirit.
Right, if I were you. We've had everything that's good, so just go home now.
looking a bit pink there. Been in the sun?
Golden glow, love, golden glow.
Well, I've got the best things, definitely.
No way, we're hiring an extra van because we've got the most super duper rubbish.
Super duper rubbish, Sue. That won't win you any prizes back home.
Hey, what about these? These are a
they
bit
look good.
naughty,
What
don't
are
they? I don't know. Let's find out. Have one.
What's that?
Monsieur, qu'est-ce que c'est? Ah, to call a duck.
Fantastic. Here they come.
Have you seen these here? These trugs.
They're very nice.
Yeah. What do you think about those?
I think they're great.
They have a real antique feel to them.
Yeah, they're really nice.
They may not necessarily be that old. I wouldn't say they're more than sort of 30, 50 years old.
But gardening's the in thing.
Gardening at home
isn't it?
is
Yeah.
brilliant. And it's the shape that's just slightly different. We never have really had this kind of shape in Victorian times. So somehow they have a sense of being very Victorian.
Combien pour le deux?
Les deux, 30 euros, monsieur.
30
that?
euros. That's a
30?
tenner each.
What do you reckon?
I think they're absolutely
beautiful.
brilliant. But I think we should bid him anyway, just for
Yeah.
the cheek of it.
And I love particularly this one here with its bent wood handle. Do you see that?
Very
How it's all
nice.
shaped. That's all bent by steaming one small piece of wood to make the handle. So you steam that to create that shape.
Right,
But I think they're great.
very nice.
All down to price. Look, you even get little dust and spiders on there as well. We'll take that back with us. Should we find out the price?
Yep.
Le dernier prix, s'il vous plaît?
Le dernier prix? Bah, je voulais laisser les 15 les deux à 15 euros.
15? That's 15, that's fine.
Yep.
A pair of trugs that'll grace any garden are bound to make more than the £10 they paid. And how's Mark getting on with the hunter's duck calls?
25?
Non.
He said no. I thought he was going to say yes.
Do you think they'd make a profit?
Well, if
In
I
all
saw this for a
seriousness.
tenner, I wouldn't think twice. I think just for a bit of a crack, for a bit of a laugh, they're
Yeah.
worth a tenner of anyone's money.
Get a few punters to the
Yeah,
store.
Can you imagine every time Jonty bends over and go,
That's quite enough of that, thank you, Mark. But at £20 for a pair of duck callers, it's a bit of fun. And as the duck would say, stick it on the bill. One of the reasons that I came up the river by boat was to pay a visit to Chateau Vert, one of the most beautiful castles in the Libourne region. There's been a castle on this strategic site since Roman times, but it was in the 100 Years' War between France and England in the 13th century that the castle we see today really started to take shape. In the 16th and 17th centuries, the classical French facades were added, including a superb double-stone staircase which sweeps majestically down to a formal Versailles-style garden. What a fantastic view of the Dordogne River. You know, this really is a very upmarket chateau indeed. But I'm not just here for the views. There's one particular room in here I really want you to see. Amazing. An original late medieval kitchen. Obviously the furniture's not original to that time, that's been brought in later. And originally there would have been one or two big tables in the middle here to accommodate all the busy chefs cooking, because in a chateau of this size there would have been a lot of people to cook for. And these wonderful pans and dresser pieces up there. If Sue were here, she'd be in her element with all this kitchenalia. Now, here's a question. How do you cook a pig with a cannonball? I'll tell you how. First of all, you've got to remember that a pig is a pretty big beast, far too big for the oven. So it would have needed to have been cooked on the fire. Now, to avoid the pig burning on one side and being raw on the other, it would have needed to have been turned on a spit. Now, what a laborious, horrible job that would have been. So the owner of this house installed one of these. It's a mechanical spit and powered by weights. And the weight in this case is a cannonball. This would have been wound up to the top there, and gradually it would have released this to have turned the spit, and gradually the pig would have roasted over a certain period of time. If you'd like more information about any of the fascinating places we visit in this series, then log on to bbc.co.uk/lifestyle. Now then, back at the market, the teams are still knuckling down. Who would have thought it could be so hard spending £350? Now, I'm sure you've all heard the expression, you break it, you buy it. Well, Mark Franks is now going to give an expert demonstration on the matter.
well, you know when people go clay pigeon shooting?
Oh, yeah.
This is like the earlier version. So you'd put your clay...
Non-mechanised.
Exactly. You put it in there and you adjust the strength, how it holds it in there. Now I'll show you how it works. It's really good. Lucky we've got a lake behind
I'm going
us.
to stand back.
Stand well back. Are you ready?
3.
Oh! Anyone got any swimming costumes? That not meant to happen.
There we are then, Mark Franks, an expert in antiques, but not in clay pigeon shooting.
We better buy this anyway.
Yes, you better had buy them, but £7 is not going to break the bank.
I quite like this actually as well.
Nice
little,
shape.
little soap dish with a scalloped shell.
Yeah.
But what I quite like about it, you see that's all hand decorated, that's all hand painted. And you can tell that by simply looking at, do you see how uneven those brush strokes are
Oh,
on
right.
that boat there? And look, you see the shape of those trees there?
Yeah.
That's a brush stroke. So you can instantly tell that that is hand decorated.
And it's signed.
And it's got a signature too. And look, it's got 7 euros underneath there. That's no age at all, but I think it's a small little work of art. Go and do a bit of haggling.
Okay.
Off you go.
That's the way, Yvonne. Haggle with the dealer, and whatever you do, resist the urge to throw your finds in the lake, like some people.
Can you see it?
No, I thought I saw bubbles coming up.
That's not that deep. Go on, in you go.
If I could see it, I would go in.
It's in
I
that
can see a
all that
fish.
weed.
I think we can confidently say that the clay pigeon flinger is gone for good. But fear not, Sue, you might just win the bonus item to replace it.
Well, are you having a good time, ladies?
Excellent.
Isn't it fantastic weather?
Very hot.
And you're spending the money?
Yes.
Excellent. Well, now, I'm going to do one of you such a fantastic favour because now it's time to win a bonus item, which means that one of you is going to win this completely free so that when you put it on your stand back home, the money you make for it will be yours to put in your booty, OK? Right, well, let me tell you what it is. It's a child's pushchair. It's dated about 1900, and you can push it this way or this way. And it's for dolls or teddy bears. And toys of any description are hugely collectible back home, so it's a nice thing to win. So the question is, in pounds, how much did I pay for it? Yvonne?
33.
33. Sue?
35.
35. I actually paid £29 for it. You are the winner, Yvonne. Congratulations. This child's pushchair is yours.
Thank you very
done.
much.
Right, your experts are over there looking for you. You better catch up with them, and I'll see you later on.
Thank you.
Well, the clock is ticking, and both teams have still got plenty of cash to spend, so there's no time to waste.
Okay, this is very typically Art Deco. You see this stylisation here? And we've got a thermometer here. And look at the temperature, it works. It's
Very
it's almost 30 degrees.
I like that.
Excellent.
I like that. Should we ask him how much? Monsieur?
C'est combien?
That thermometer might have shown Yvonne that the heat is on, but if you're to look at Sue, you'd never guess it. And where on earth is Mark Franks? Not still looking for that clay pigeon launcher. Come on, matey, time's against you, and you've still got well over half your budget left.
There should be bubbles coming up, shouldn't there?
Are they pewter? Quite nice. So would you clean them up or not?
No,
No.
you don't touch it. What I find with those sorts of measures is that because we have such a tradition at home with pints, quarts, when it comes to reselling back at home, it's quite important to have that on a measure, on a set.
Okay.
Whereas when you've got litres, half litres and other sizes, somehow it gets lost
Yeah.
crossing the channel. And they'll be sold purely as decorative items as well.
Yeah.
That's all you would ever collect something like that for, to make something look good. So should we buy those?
We will.
Yes. And we've got this for 15. So it's another 65 euros.
That's the way to do it. Yvonne has really started whipping through her kitty. And Sue, well, she's now taking the job lot approach.
Hey, Mark, I've got some great goodies here. Do you want to come have a look?
What have you found?
There's this coat rack for a start.
Love them.
Then there's a tatty old bread ball, but I'm not sure.
Love it.
The planter.
Cool.
These two vase
Great.
things. Another planter.
Nice.
And over here, this thing,
That's cool.
and the enamel doodle.
Bit damaged, but I mean, it's still with a wipe out. When it comes to enamel, condition's very important.
Yeah.
It's nice and flowery, which is nice, but it says made in China on the back.
Oh.
That doesn't help it that much, but even so, if the price is right, I think it's good.
Then
What
there's these two
Love them.
and this lovely vase.
What's the condition of this? Let's have a little.
As far as I can see, it was all right.
Sue, you're doing a sterling job. Let's try and get a price on it though. Yeah, I'm with you on all of that. I think you've made some really good choices. There's quite a lot of stuff here. I think it's going to come to a few bob.
Purchase.
Shall I go and beg?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, I'll do my best.
Now, to the untrained eye, that lot may look like a load of old tat, and you might be right, so the price had better be really good.
You won't believe this.
How'd you get on?
I've been begging and borrowing, and he has come to a price of 40 quid for this lot.
Fantastic.
Which I think is a steal, because I thought he was
That's
going to ask for
marvellous.
about double.
Yeah.
So, if we can't make a profit out of this lot, I'll be a monkey's uncle. 60 euros, 40 quid.
Brilliant.
It's a steal.
That'll do.
Give us some money, honey.
Yeah.
A monkey's uncle, eh, Mark? Well, I'm not so convinced about that lot. I better have a few bananas standing by. I've just nipped away from the market because I've got to buy today's prize. Now, marketplaces are great places to find those wonderful bargains, but because it's a first prize, I'm after something a bit special. There aren't many antique shops in Libourne, but this one does look promising. It's been a really difficult decision to make, to choose today's prize in amongst everything here. But I think this will be it. It's a claret jug, so chunky, and this one is in very good condition. Well, what we look for with metalware is it silver or not? And with French silver, we look for the Minerva, and there it is. There's a lot of it there. And then let's look at the glassware itself. You can tell how old a glass is by the wear underneath. So we look here. There isn't a great deal of wear there, which tells me it's 50 years old at max, but it is in great condition. Now, this is priced at 200 euros, and if I can just knock the dealer down slightly, this will be today's prize. Back at the market, Sue and Mark are browsing at a carefree pace, but they're just about to get a nasty shock.
Hello, you two, you're empty-handed.
Hello, mate.
But I'm assuming you've bought things.
Oh,
Of course we have. We've got loads.
What's your favourite piece then, Sue?
Oh, the duck calls, definitely the duck
The
calls.
duck calls.
Yes.
You're meant to be buying collectibles. Mark, is it going to sell back home?
Well, it's a bit of fun. It makes this quacking noise. And I'll tell you, wait till you see them, Chris. They're really such a scream. They're definitely going to be sold because I'm going to buy them just for the laugh.
You two are having far too much fun for my liking. Mark, how much money have you got left?
About 145 euros left.
Right, well, you've got an hour left, so if you want some bumper buys, get to it.
Come on, then.
With 1 hour left to go, both teams need to pull out all the stops. And the big decision is always whether to continue to buy lots of little things and maybe run out of time, or buy 1 or 2 big items and risk losing your shirt back in the UK. Well, it looks like Sue and Mark are thinking big, whereas Yvonne and Jonty are sticking with a little and often.
It looks like it's something to do with a spaceship, doesn't it? But what it's actually for is in France, obviously we're in the Bordeaux region where there's huge vineyards.
Yeah.
And what they do is they will take their bottles down to the vineyards and say, fill those up. And when they fill them up, they will drink them. And when they empty them out, they will wash the bottles out and they put each bottle on there to dry out.
How about that? 6 euros.
Perfect. Lovely little French colours. Not very old, but it's a little fruit basket. Porcelain. I like it.
£4? That's not going to get rid of the cash.
Imagine a lovely terracotta pot in there with like say some spider plants trailing down the side,
Yeah.
and in the middle perhaps a big geranium or something. So as a centrepiece in the garden or over in the corner, really funky, and a few old bottles hanging off of it, all plants draping their way around it.
Getting a bit interior design there.
You love it, aren't you? It's 30 euros, which is about 20 quid. It's up to you. I think it's not a bad buy.
Oh, I think we should go for that.
Give
That
her the
sounds
money.
Good.
Come on
Done.
in.
Well, it took the hour to go to get Sue going, but now she's buying really good items at even better prices. Whereas Yvonne seems to be paying less and less for stuff. Is she going to get through her kitty?
So that's €3, so that's about £2.
It's very cheap,
Piece of cake.
isn't it? Yeah.
We're on a roll.
A roll, Jonty? You must be joking. Rather than run around the market again, Sue and Mark have decided to find one stall they like and spend the rest of their money on one job lot. But will the dealer's price match their purse?
He's got much damage on it, is he?
A little bit missing around the side there. Doesn't bother me too much because it just would look fantastic. You'd never see this in England. Lovely. 1950s. I think it's probably no more than 30 years old.
No?
It doesn't matter though. It's still a good, it's a classic French shape.
Yeah.
Very pretty. 120 euros left, roughly £80. If we can get this lot for that sort of money, we've had a right
That'd be
result.
fantastic, wouldn't it?
I'd be really surprised because that mirror's probably worth that on its own. It's a lovely
Yeah.
mirror.
OK, guys, good choices. All you need to do now is sweet talk the vendor. Well, OK, grovel.
S'il vous plaît, monsieur. Vive la France. The best place to come for sun, sea.
Si je vous laisse Ceci à 120 €, vous faites une très très bonne affaire.
Sure. Merci beaucoup.
Okay.
He's a good guy. He's got a good stall and he's got a good heart. Give him your money. Every
no.
last penny gone.
That's it. We've
You are-
spent up.
That is it.
That's the lot. And the last bits.
Fini. We have no more.
That's it,
Well
hey.
done. Well done. Every last penny gone.
Gone.
Let's go and have a cup of tea.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a great deal, guys. Time's almost up. Yvonne's still got £75 left in her kitty and so has taken matters into her own hands.
John T, have you found anything?
No, what have you found?
Well, what do you think of this table?
What am I supposed to think about it?
Before you answer, I've got a confession to make.
And
I've spent our last €100 on it.
you bought the table?
Yes.
What did you pay for it? 30 quid?
No, I paid €100. They wanted 150, but it's beautiful.
Yes.
It's 150 years old. The wood comes from a very old vine press, and the gentleman of the family actually made the base and put it all together. I just think it's really nice.
You like it?
I do.
Well, sadly, that lovely story you just told me is going to go completely over our buyers' heads. Completely and utterly over our buyers' heads.
Well, if I tell it nicely, it might not.
But you've spent out. You're completely spent out.
Afraid so.
Right, this one's on you. All right? Well done. Well, at least we're done.
Jonty doesn't like it. That table was a fifth of their budget. But anyway, time's up. Our teams had £350 each and 10 items to buy to sell on back in Britain. Yvonne and Jonty bought a total of 27 items. The 3 hardboard windows were a great buy at £39. But I shared Jonty's reservation about Yvonne's last purchase, the little coffee table, which was £66. Sue and Mark, in the end, bought an incredible 34 items. The oval mirror they bought as part of the job lot was a great buy. However, I'm not sure about the pool table. Had they looked a little closer, they might have noticed that a ball was missing. Mark and Sue.
Hello,
The
mate.
end of a long, hot day, huh?
Very.
How are you feeling?
Absolutely shattered.
Well, you don't look it, does she?
Thank you.
I've made her work hard today, Chris.
I can imagine. Sue, what's your favourite piece then?
I think it's got to be the mirror. That's absolutely beautiful.
Good
Really
neck,
pleased
isn't
with
it?
that, yeah.
Does that show you a good profit, Mark?
Of course, everything we bought shows us good profit, but the best profit has got to be in the Solex moped.
Yes.
I really think that's going to make a serious dough. I can see you buying that. You look lovely.
You
on it,
might
Chris.
well see me on it, Mark.
Get Jonty on the back.
Absolutely. Well done, you two.
Thank you.
And Yvonne and Jonty, hello.
Hi.
Chris?
You look raring to go again. No sign of wear at all.
Don't know about that.
Is that your favourite piece, Yvonne?
I think it's got to be the table. I really like the table.
Which table was that? This one?
The little coffee table
Yeah,
here.
you've done very well
150
indeed.
years old.
Really?
Make a nice profit on that,
Oh,
I think.
Jonty, what's going to make you the most profit then?
Oh, well, I think this urn, it has to be a real corker. That costs £10.
Oh, for nothing.
I mean, that's nothing. But I also love the dog. It's got real style. And the English love their dogs. We
They
can
do.
really sell that perfectly well
Yeah.
back at home. I'm
You've
very
done
pleased with that.
very well indeed. Well, teams, the next time you see this lot, we'll be back in the UK. See you there. We're back in Britain, and in London's Portobello Road, you can barely move through all the collectors, tourists and buyers who descend here in their thousands. Hundreds of market stalls, shops and galleries come to life every Saturday morning throughout the year. But unlike those professional dealers, our teams Yvonne and Sue have only one day to sell on all their French finds. So let's find out how they're getting on. Well, full marks for giving not only the stall, but themselves a French flavour. And with so much competition around from the regular stall holders, who knows, a bit of je ne sais quoi might just give them the edge. But before money changes hands, time for those all-important tactics.
OK, Yvonne, you look dressed suitably. The table is fantastically laid out. And also, I see you've done a bit of pricing. What's been your strategy?
Double. at least.
Right.
Someone's going to buy that, and I guarantee they're young and funky.
Just suss the person out.
Yes.
See how far they're interested, and if they are, then try and reel them in a wee bit.
So let's. We like that.
I'm just going to nip off around the market with Mark and see what everybody else is doing, but I think you'll be fine. All right?
Fine. Yeah.
Sell with confidence,
I
smile
will.
with confidence. You're good at
Okay.
that. See you later.
Okay. See you.
Now, Portobello Road is Britain's premier weekly antiques market. It's got the lot. Hundreds of dealers, crowds of tourists, food, entertainment, and of course, the one thing that no British market could be without, rain. Oh dear, Mother Nature certainly can put pay to the best laid plans of mice, men, and ladies from Kent. But not to worry, ladies, it's only a shower. And after a brief hiccup, the selling begins. And straight away, one contestant seems to have found her true calling in life. Yvonne really has got the gift of the gab.
They're about 100 years old, pewter. There's a set of 7, and they're £45. And they really are stylish. They'd look lovely in a kitchen.
Just listen to that patter. And Sue, she can only look on in bewilderment.
Well, it's really nice. It's 150 years old, the top, and it came from a wine press in Saint-Emilion in France. So I really wanted 120, I think, for the table. Is there anything else you're interested as well?
I like the vase over there.
That's very nice.
Yeah. Have you seen the lovely decoration around the outside? This has all been pressed. This is a pressed grass, so it's not cut.
Yeah.
So, and as a consequence, it is cheap. How much is it, boss?
Well,
What are we asking
we
for
could
that
do the table and the vase for 100.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Call it 95, we've got a deal.
Okay, 95.
Thank you.
Right,
You like that?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Lovely. Thank you.
I'm not surprised she likes it. Sue doesn't look so pleased, though. Now, Jonty and I had our reservations about that table. But there you go, a £24 profit. Well done, Yvonne. You proved us both wrong. Now, before the competition gets too hot, there's time for Jonty and I to see what other French collectibles have made their way over here.
Now, the stand here, somebody's got a really good eye.
Doesn't it look great? Look at this. Are you hungry? We just grab a baguette here.
Now, that's exactly what I want to find when I'm looking in French markets.
Yes, I
Something
agree.
just a wee bit different.
This is certainly different. What is it? Hors d'oeuvre? do you
Yeah,
think?
it'd be something like that.
Is it Limoges?
It's not signed at all. It's earthenware, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't be Limoges.
Great fun thing, isn't
I
it?
think that's great. I
Very
love that.
impractical. About 1900?
Yes, I think that's around that kind of date. But it's the sort of thing you sell completely as a novelty item.
Absolutely.
I love it to
Fun
death.
thing.
I also love that lamp. Do you see the little nursery lamp?
I do.
That's
I do.
very, very stylish.
Yeah. It's a little child's nightlight, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Would that be bronze, do you think, the cat's head?
It's probably spelter.
Again, about 1930s, 40s?
Yes. It's when electricity sort of first was introduced into Europe, into domestic dwellings.
Yeah. Small bulbs.
So a lot of lighting like that would be around the 1920s.
Well, look at this. Here's a French tabac sign.
Yeah.
Of course, these go back way back to Victorian times, don't they?
Yes. Now, today's modern equivalent would be a sort of
Neon
plastic
light.
sign with a light inside of it. But that's made of tin. But what I love about this is the fact that it's all hand decorated, and that's the reason why somebody would want to collect it.
This is about £200.
That's, well, what a bargain.
Yeah.
It's a
You
work
don't
of
see
art,
them
for
all
goodness
that
sake.
often.
Yeah, it's just, and it's also so tactile as well.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it.
Back at the stall, Sue is still struggling with her sales technique. She's trying hard, bless her, but it's just not happening for her.
Do you play pool? You drop the engine down onto the front wheel and it takes over for you when you get tired. They're great fun.
I wonder if she's targeting the right people. I really can't see that lady on that motorbike. Feisty old Yvonne, however, is going great guns.
Wrap him up in a towel in his suitcase and he won't get damaged.
And there goes the thermometer.
We bought it over in France, yeah.
That's more like it, Sue. That bloke looks a right hunter-gatherer. He's got duck call written all over his face.
It's made in America.
And at last, Sue's made her first sale.
Yeah, we bought it over in France, so it's...
Now, Sue's on a bit of a sales roll. She's even managed to get rid of that nasty crab desk set.
So that's £5 change, and I'll put it in the bag for you.
It's a £4 profit, but why would anyone want to buy it?
Well, I got it because my dad's a biologist.
Really?
And this is what he studies, are crabs. So, got for his birthday.
I think you'll love that, don't you?
I know.
Do you like it?
The funky factor, yes, I do.
That's
Get a real
right.
kick out of it.
Kick out. Well, when we bought this, my contestant, she didn't like it, but I thought it was really cool. And I could live with that. It's a bit of fun, isn't it?
Ah, a bit of fun. Well, that's one way of describing it. Now, Mark Franks has a plan to boost Sue's sales, but I'm not sure Yvonne's that happy about it.
Right, now listen, I want a serious word, okay?
Jaunty.
It's nearly halfway through the day, and I feel we've got a bit of an unfair disadvantage because you've got the front and we've got the rear. Now I think come midday or midway through the day, which is about another half an hour, we should swap over and we'll have the front and you can have the rear.
Okay.
Because I think that's fair, don't you?
I think so, yeah.
So the ladies are going to play musical chairs with their items. But is it going to help Sue with her sales?
Something's got to give. We need a bit more interest going on.
Well, not straight away. She might have been sent to the back, but again it's Yvonne who's pulling in the punters.
Nice little deco dog.
Nice little deco dog. Actually, I was wondering about the windows.
Oh, right.
Now, another good tip about good sales is to always pay attention. There's a bloke sniffing around Sue's bike, but has she seen him?
45.
I truly only have the 40.
Okay, done.
40.
Done
for 40. Thank
Done.
Done. I think you have been, Yvonne. At £40, that's just £1 profit. Still, at least you're shifting your stuff.
Thank you very much.
What are you going to do with these windows then?
Well, we'll put them out in the little summer house in the backyard.
Backyard.
Backyard. And
Do you hit the freeway to get to your backyard?
oh no, there's little trails that go into the backyard with big trees that hang over, so it's really cool.
Can I come there for holiday?
Absolutely,
You
love
sure?
to have you. I'd love to have
I'd
you.
love to come.
Yeah. We have the boys have moved out, they're married and grown, and we have grandbabies, so the whole upstairs is empty.
Well, while Mark sorts out his trip to Texas, Sue at least has remembered why we're here.
You interested in the bike?
Yeah. Present for my dad.
Oh, okay, right. So, is it his birthday or anniversary? It's his birthday.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it was £100 this morning, and as it's his birthday, 50 quid.
Sold.
Good man. Thank you.
No problem.
Enjoy.
Only a £10 profit, but I bet she's glad to see the back of that bike.
I'm sorry, but I'm pleased.
Well, I wonder if Dad will be pleased too. Happy birthday, Dad. I bought you a dirty old French bike. Nice. Slowly but surely, the teams are getting rid of all their items, and so far, no losses. And remember, today's bonus item, the pram, will be pure profit for Yvonne and Jonty.
The pram itself is 1930, so it's like sort of pre-war.
I was going to ask you, actually.
Yeah, it's 1930, so it's sort of between the wars. And the beauty of this, can you see that it's actually just too small for a child? So it's actually a doll's pram.
It's a doll's pram.
All right? And that's the reason why we've displayed a little doll actually in the pram itself.
I love this. The mirror.
Yeah, how much is it?
It's beautiful. It's £50. We bought it over from France. It's my pièce de résistance.
I will.
You will?
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. Thank you.
£50. And as we're well into the day, it's another sale for Sue and a real bargain for that young lady.
Would you like it?
Yes, I would love it.
Okay, it's yours. We have a sale. Put it there, madam.
That's lovely.
Pure profit for Yvonne. I wonder, could that bonus £15 swing the day's competition? We'll have to wait and see. The ladies are trying every method in the book to try and sell all their items, plus a few methods of their own.
Free onions with every purchase. Free onions with every purchase. Genuine French onions make your soup.
Well, I'm not sure that onion juggling is going to entice buyers, but dropping the prices might, as it is getting towards the end of the day.
It's a hat, put your phone.
I want you to start selling things at cost. right?
Hey, guys, what is this? A fruit and veg market? What are you doing here? Selling antiques?
We're trying.
What can we sell you, Chris?
Well, you know, I'm thinking about things my own quiet way, Jonty. Have you had a good day?
It's been fun, different.
Yeah, you're rolling in the...
Pound a pan, your onions.
yeah. It's the apples I want, Mark. Put those onions back. Are you taking a lot of money, Yvonne?
Quite good, but quite hard work, I must say.
No one said it was easy,
No,
darling,
they
did
didn't.
they? And how are you getting on?
It's been hard. It's mostly tourists and they don't want to put anything in their suitcase.
Don't you tell me that this is all you've got left to sell.
No.
There's all that to go.
Yeah.
Now, what's your plan of action, Jonty?
We're trying to give it away without being too generous.
Without being too silly.
At
all
cost,
right.
at cost. We're trying to knock it out at cost.
Well, I have to tell you, you haven't got much
300.
time left, so good luck, and I'll catch up with you very soon.
Thank you.
Get those onions out of there.
Do you want a bag, madam? Okay.
So with the prices down, the race is on, and there's loads of interest.
Biscuit barrel. Nice retro plate. £2.
Present for your parents.
How about that?
The girls have gone into some sort of crazy sales overdrive, and they're selling stuff to people that didn't know they even wanted anything. But I do hope Yvonne's early profits were good, because she's now shifting stuff at rock bottom. Sue's a bit on the sneaky side though, and is making up for earlier lost ground by selling stuff at a healthy profit. This competition is really going to be close.
Really nice.
This is for you.
Okay, £4.
They've all got to go.
Because I'm a lovely person, that's why. Okay, so how about the biscuit barrel?
Oh, that's
beautiful,
lovely.
retro, £2.
Bargain.
Oh, jolly good. Lovely. So I've now finished. I've sold out, Jonty. There we go.
Good girl. Right, let's wrap it.
So Yvonne was the first to sell and also the first to sell out. Her biggest profit ended up being the coffee table, netting her an early £24. Her biggest loss of the day was surprisingly the Venetian mirror, which lost her £23. Sue's biggest profit came at the end of the day, the pool table. Her biggest disaster of the day was the Dawn Bowl, losing £25. But did today's losses outweigh the profits? Let's find out just who is going to be today's winner.
Teams, you have had a very busy day, haven't you, Yvonne?
Certainly have.
How do you feel now? Quite tired?
Absolutely shattered.
But you've had some fun,
We've
Yvonne.
had a great deal of fun, yeah.
Great.
Really good.
Excellent. Are you happy with everything, Jonty?
Yeah, I'm thrilled that we've sold everything.
Yeah.
The market is teeming full of tourists.
It's amazing, isn't
But
it?
quantity doesn't necessarily mean quality of buying.
Yeah.
And it was quite hard work today.
Yeah. Well, you've done amazingly well, and so have you, Sue. Have you had fun?
Oh, it's been good, yeah. It's been
Great.
hard work, though.
Yes, it has, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Not helped by Mark, I would think.
No, not much.
Mark, are you happy with the money you've taken?
Could have done better. We had an early shower, and I think that did scare a few people away.
Yeah.
The dealers perhaps went home a bit earlier than they should have done.
But there's still people here. It's incredible.
But I'm
isn't it?
quite happy.
Well done. Let me tell you now, the moment you've been waiting for. You'll be pleased to know you've both exceeded the £350 kitty I gave you. And Yvonne, you have taken £364.
Ooh.
Sue, and you have taken £359. That makes you, Yvonne, the winner. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you are now the proud owner of this lovely 30s claret jug. I'm sorry, Sue. Better luck next time. Thank you for joining us. See you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm blowing your own trumpet again.
No tongue.
300. They wanted 150.